Gear up for the future with Chongtham University. Write your success story with our new age programs that shall be amongst the top 3 most rewarding careers in India and across the globe in the next decade. One of the reasons why Chongtham is a leading private university in India is these world-class partnerships which makes it stand out among the rest.
Kurumjari, ELITETV News at 8 Pumit yang tabiri bapun mamagpo Enhancement magtada Chongtham Amrita na taran mokjari. Ngasi infada phong ba pauche singda karam ba sing na maro ibe headlines on phong magi habdo hana khamidase. Enhancement da Manipur News. Mode dagi lanjen naraklaba singda sarkar na piba khudongchaba sing suna phanglam dabadagi Chief Minister mai hauna saukre. AR lokthok laga CRPF sinjinabagi thawong handoknaba kuki MLA tarana Prime Minister da taksin kre kuki zogi Remembrance Day da AR lokthok pagi mayok da rally chatkre. NE da organ transplant da Manipur the best in emerging state award fangkre. Hockey Manipur gi sanaroi sing pudana la chatkhiba huru gas pokhai bada leikidre. Report puthok tri fawba interview pangthok pa yaroi masina Manipur News ki maroi pa pausing ori mathanga sina pokna fam. Kuki khulai paiba sing na jirebam da yum mai tha khraba matung bom amasung nongmai kapsilakle. Oil pump ayamba thau leitabadagi thonglona kre paumi fuba commando sub inspector Nikhil suspend tawkre. Manipur gi chakhau malem da pamna ba hengalakli Modi mar amasung maitegi agreement chatnaroi mar inpui masina pokna fam ge maroi ba pausing oiri mathanga sina na harol ge thaudang. Kuki sing na Manipur dagi AR lokthok tanaba hotnari ngai kuki MLA tara amasu Kuki MLA tara nasu Assam Rifles lokthok tanaba Modi da memorandum pisinkre. Department anigi tabulation sheet mangbagi maram khangde ngai interview tawba yaroi somorje. Jiribam da maitai gi yum kayarak hanna mai thabada jenaba mioi faduna jarak pidriba karigino masina naharol ge thaudang ge maroi ba headline sing oiri mathanga sina sana leba. AR gi mahud CRPF na sindoktana ba kuki MLA tara na Prime Minister da hijakre. Taksin ba watpa Manipur gi lol classical language chan ba thengtha dauri Manipur gi lol classical language chan janabagi macha watte pi guninjo. Petrol pump sing stop loi kiduna thonglona ba yaure. Paumi furakpa gi matang da National Human Rights Commission da wakat khare paumi fu ki ba police personnel amatta jairak pi khidabadagi makha na chatharakbani report. Masina sana lebaki maru eba headline sing ori mathanga sina Sangai Express. Laldu Homana Amit Shah da Hai Manipur ge wathok loisinna ba thabak lokhat piu. Jiri gi santi gi wari nongan baga maitei yum mai thakre. Jiri da leiba mar lup sing uthai kre. Masina Sangai Express ki maru eba headline sing ori mathanga sina ELITETV Express. Manipur no organ mai pak na transplant tawba ngam bagi damak award piduna ikai khumnarakle. Paumi da akal aring sing ba sub inspector suspend tawkre. World rating Miamna Kwaidagi Pamnaba Luchingba Singh Manunda Narendra Modi na Makok Poire TAN Hillski Minister Loktok U ADC gi Mikhal Pangthok na ba HAC gi clearance atuba da PU masina ELITETV Express ki maru ba headline sing ori mathanga sina kwenlan pau Manipur da lupa lakh khara da angang yon bagi chatna bi leire police na case lokhatlaga investigation chatharabasu mangam sandre April 22 2024 gi numidang pung nipan gai minute yankhai mari rom tarakpada normal delivery da rims da unakhiba angang amasu numit nini surakpada lupa lakh ani da yonthok lambagi report thengnare lan gi waroi sin puraknaba kanada tai Laldu Homa da tagadawribra Amit Shah unakhraba Mizoram gi Chief Minister Laldu Homa wari sananaba Imphal lakadawri Yangang pokpi amukasu lanfam oire kuki terrorist sing na santi khongbal da nongmai bom gi nong chuhalakli akampa relief camp da thokiba thaudoki matang da police na case lokhatlam le imagi mairagi convener TH Sujata police ta lakna ba khanghalakli Tabulation sheet mangkiba thiziliba inquiry committee ki report thamdri khaidi DMU gi botany amadi physics ki interview pangthokpa yaroi masina hwelan pauge maroi be headline singori mathanga sina the Shanghai Express English edition. Mizoram CM urges Amit Shah to talk with Kuki Zo leaders. WMC questions Biren's approach to Laudohoma for mediator's role. Retired teacher reappointed at COA day after peace talks. Meitei family's house burnt down at Jiri. Masina Shanghai Express English edition gi maroi ba pausing oiri. Mathanga sina the People's Chronicle. Kuki militants launched attack after peace deal. JAL flays persistent attacks. RDO calls for peace. Scribe assault. SI suspended. Amju plans further discussion. Mar Inpui says pact null and void dissolves his Jiri unit. Kuki MLS urged PM to reconsider withdrawal of AR. ITLF Kotu urged center against Kokomi demand. Former ADC members press for holding local body polls. Masina People's Chronicle Gimaru iba headline singori. Mathanga sina the Impal Free Press. Jiribam packed sabotage by a few. Government suspends police officer for assault on local journalist. Mizoram CM did not mention any group. Former ADC members demand new TA minister. Minor siblings go missing. Masina Impal Free Press ki maru iba headline singori. Masigi Impal the phone liba maru iba headline sing matang da khana ne na bagi da magta ELITETV gi studio de lengsin bidana lady basi Saknairaba executive editor of Manipur Mail Oja Ibungochoubi ni Oja Editorial mukchani Oja da ihana na lakchaning basi ngarang si ihan han santi gi matang da wari sanai ki ba maitei amadi mark group ani gi matang da lege agreement to hek nongan baga Sagi agreement pura fail oi begi mong da yum mai tha ki bana chingba mayam cha thabagi pause ne ihan han phongli diri gi matang da masigi matang da oja ihan han lakchaning basi handak te ikui puri dana June kunni thoida chief minister su Guwahati da chattana Kuki MLA ani amadi mar gi leader ani amhum miyoi ahunga unaduna lona unaduna mas ngasai gi peace ki matang da wafam sana bagi matang da shanti purak na bagi honari ne haiba ye wafam je matam khara lerega phungno ki bagi pausu leki bani aduna masigi matang da handak su amuko su mar amadi maitei community ani gi marakta peace ki agreement leire na hairaba matung da amuko su mar inpuina hairiba talk to null and void ne na thok laga Madugi Margi Jiri unit to dissolve Toki by Wadini Masi Matang the Mokoi community na peace ki matang the Wadi Sanaredi in Topagi Matang Matola de Ozamasi Matang the Kari Habining.
A good morning, Amrita, Elin. Ki Imbiri Bupun Mapusu Kaikum the Butchery. Manipur the Hosik Toi Basi Mi Karana enlist the conflict Matang Wahi Mamsi Hainere. Mi karanandi war haiba wahi pawa sizinaba hore. Lani Purup anigi nuanadabdagi thorakpadagi karamba conflict no haiba se in many different ways it is being defined. Agi nahan elite ki discussion da sum thangnaba khoi gi sem koi resource person amaga loraba matung da wari sanabada lan haiba sigi si kanano haiba taragadi warrior haibane war asi kanano mina khanabani Leader na khanabani. It is a war between two countries and the army fight war haibziko. And secondly, when two communities conflict including children, women and common people. Agi magi motive, magi origin, magi genesis karino haiba matamda. My editorial view was already reflected taking the cue of one of my friends. War haiba taragadi Kanariba Mayamasi warrior kawi aduga Masida Loshanabagi damakta Tangduletana Amukana Halaknabagi damakta Masida Chilibe Mimayam Asisu Peace ki Hairaga Peace ki damakta Chiliba Mayam Asisu warrior nihai. It is a very, very interesting, very intriguing statement that anyone who is caught in the conflict is a warrior because they have said that this is a war. And people who are trying to broker peace, anyone who is struggling for peace is also a warrior of a different term. Warrior anini ing tapna amukhanna halakna bagi damakta chele bakambusisu lanmini khanari bakambusu lanmini haibane. These are two different things that we have to understand as a society. Hanna politician mayam haibada thajarakta ama yawba public na Nunang ba natraga nungaita ba administration gi mathak da phungdok pa haibase it is a very, very common thing. However, public na administration pariba political party natraga cabinet oigera mantri oigera makhogi mathakta thajaba ama mangak pa haibasina atopa amani ngau manipur gi si chahi ama henjel aba kuiraba matung dadi hallu heba kangbu ama marakta amuk akhoigi handaba yaroi because we have seen many battles human civilization da battle gi magnitude si yam re battle gi matung da amuk mayam si punsilaga war haibane aduna marak the use of word journalist khangde media khangde khoina war haibase karino battle macha yam si punsilak pane madumaina hainabase if any community amuk hanna hanigileramba phibam natragasu at least trying to make an attempt to broker peace makhusu warrior ne hai those people who are burning for ado taragadi amana shanti gi warrior amana lan gi khanabagi warrior haibane these are two different things that we have to understand from different angles and different perspectives amrita kogi editorial view dadi karigumba lanmi amana traga chathariba amada madubu amuk hanna tamthiba miyong da yengakpa adubu society sidagi amu inthorakpa haibado that is the first thing that will be a stumbling block to any progress in dialogue or trilateral talk. That is what we understand during a time of crisis. Manipur kisi luraba wapamni aigi grandfather ga Amrita gi grandfather ga they were enemies hauzik ekhoina amu khangadabasi moina poko masasi akhoi enmity du mapa dagi inherit ta hobra adudagi amuk aiga Amrita ga we belong to the same generation irrespective of difference of ages. So if we continue to remember the conflict between your grandfather and my grandfather, are we exercise our own intellect and wisdom to progress? Haibagi debate to ni huzik lagadori base. Doi bataragadi nahan Amrita gi discussion da haijagi pidunni. We have to accept that the cut is very deep. Akhoi gi thamoi da haksang da natraga akhoi gi spiritual belief da soki basi yamna deep wound, it will take its own time to heal. Madugi ngaibagi marak says that there will be people, there will be God-sent people who will try to at least bridge the gap of differences. Aduni huzik unaribase. Aigi wakandadi mi amaga group amaga khanaba say even East West German haigera Second World War da ugribje kaino World War da ugribje kaino entire human civilization see karama mong the progress natraga times in the poraki haibu through different types of conflicts battles and wars world wars alirak thokre what do we live for our younger generations to come madugi issue dune politicians who cannot foresee politicians who do not has the wisdom to see what will happen after 10 years 20 years politician haibasidi public thinker haibasidi tungi chahi gi taragi kungi kunthagi chamagi lambi se lapna yengbanga madune koina leader hairibase and anyone who cannot have that vision of 10-15 years that will be left behind us then I don't call them leaders they makwing haki pongchang changak pang haki oi ba haibudune whether it is in the state government or in the union government. My final talk, my final editorial comment was anyone who is brokering peace is also a warrior. As I believe, which one of my colleagues said, anyone who is now embroiled in this conflict is also a warrior. So these are two different perspectives we have to understand. These are two parallel lines which with one little ship it will meet. Kogi parallel line haibase adum parallel chakani adu degree ma hek naksalakpa matamda time will tell but at least it will meet at some point of time. Almain thamge hamba anta.
Headlines on the phone was Manipur News, Naro get Tang, Amadi, Sanale Bakman, People's Chronicle, Maru, Nepal, and every pouch the phone basi. AR Laga, CRPF Sinjin Bagi, Matang, the Yaning the Boy in a cookie, MLS in the Prime Minister, the Taksin Gray, the Makatana, Sanale Bakta Cookie, MLA Tarana, Assam Rifles, Lok Tanaba Modi, the memorandum, Pishan Gray, Hibernating Bangasagi, Assam Rifles, Lok Matang, Cookie, MLS in a Yaning the Bagi Matang, Amadi, Prime Minister, the memorandum, Pisalaga, Mazis, and Pigaduna Hibi Matang, the Pundopani. Amadi Cookiezo, Cookiezo Remembrance Day, the AR Lok Tanaba, AR Lotopagi Mayok, the release, which at Haidi, Masing around our Sitang home, Remembrance Day, Masigi, Kolausi Largos, like Cabin, Masigi Matang, those Alaxin Basi, Kari, the Magdal. community ne Assam Rifles ta thok pasta asuk yam hak thengna na songning ma pungdo libano masi se mayam na haibe se chumdori bra Assam Rifles amadi koki singe marakta masi ki yanaba masi ki geno se lotuna ba se leire haibe se confirm ta na lobi gadra do memorandum se pisan basina kari effect la kani dai kari molai
ai nei han han thamjagi bitu amita paramilitary forces haibe se Union Home Minister gi makhadala e the entire paramilitary force deployment it comes under the Union Home Minister. Hoji hainer basi 22 AR ga 9 AR ga hongini habagi WhatsApp group ta akhoi rumor am thadore. Suman ta akhoi 22 AR 22 Assam Rifle ga 9 AR ga. I do not know exactly where they are deployed. 22 AR Asia akhoi national highway yauri ba Kangpopi chingba area sigi orangmani 9 AR sina some areas kangbai highway sigi soina orangmani na nahan map ta haipet yengi Union Home Minister na akhina nahan Assam Rifle loktho haibada aigi editorial comment ta Assam Rifle loktho ka dodori bino because the order comes from the Home Minister. Even if one battalion is deployed or even if one Assam Rifle gi battalion nama lokthok raga atopa paramilitary force ama puragasu who is going to give the order right to the Assam Rifle gi DG adudagi operating gi akhoi gi operation to ribasina corps commander ne we should know that every single action every single initiative taken up by the post commander Major rank oini madugi matakta amuk CO colonel oini sector commander sina brigadier ni madugi matakta division lakadori madi matakta amuk corps commander lakadori ni who is operationally responsible for the entire area of the northeastern region through the military through the Indian Army magi tungan administration gi atopa tungan basina magi tungan DG dagi lakpa yai DG Assam Rifle lagi however any operational activity it comes from the corps commander Dimapur dagi madusumagi order matang laktori bani which is completely managed by the union government Union Home Minister of Defense ka Manipur da thoi ba irang ase deployment of Assam Rifles deployment of BSF deployment of CRPF the order will come from the Home Minister. Adu ibataragadi editorially natraga Manipur people na khangadabasi the order piriba mido madugi kokta leiriba wakhandu hana India haibsi karino Manipur haibsi karino what is the future for the people of this Manipur should be first convinced he should understand the complexity of this issue amma hongda haiduna that is a different thing aigi wakhandadi aigi motadi central government da Sarkar Pariba, Manipur government Pariba, Ani Asigi, Kok Asida, Kalibu, Wakanasi Hana, Chungsen Rakanda, Monakari Tabu Pangtoka Dabano, Habadudi, Hana Hagadabani, rather than making whims and fancies of deployment, exchange of deployment, Sida Muktamni, Enan Hajigi Buduni. If Manipur da Huzik Hwadagi, try the heart of a town that is Imphal East West Bishnupur Thawalni. Bishnupur Thawal Imphal East ki West ki SP से anytime union अखोई state की home minister ना change तो हुई है इम्फाल इसकी SP होंगर का सु इम्फाल west की इम्फाल होंगर का सु बिष्णुपुर की SP होंगर का सु मखोई की activity दिखना depend तो we have the Amrita the order directly comes from the home minister whether you change the whether you change the SP whether you change the SDPO whether you change the additional SP or even if you change the at the OC level order di kada lakada bano home minister dagi madu ebatar gadi hoje hainariba 9 Assam Rifle and 22 Assam Rifle gi hairibasi both will be under the home minister adi permission pirakadu shu home minister adagi sina thamu haidi ju home minister is home minister convinced of the change of the battalions from Assam Rifle to somebody deployment of another establishment amat hamaga wakhanji nuaidori no the primarily this is what the common people will have to think department natraga magi hero department gi director do homo haibanate order pirakadori ba nupa do kanano politician gi kok to hana change to haibane koina haibade amita people have lost that faith people have lost that trust kadaida sarkar pairi ba both home minister union ga state kada this is because of the mismanagement for the last almost 15 to 16 months Manipur gi hek mamangi chahi gi me gi tarik ahum mari de thor khaba sidagi hoji pawda le ibse the message is very clear that people have lost that trust aduna government na noi masen thajan no noi masen wari sano kana pangai haibiduna amani however the inactive or ngasai issue si da deal tawda makhoi gi demeanor makhoi gi wakhal pukchel amadi thawas hadabado aduni hoji pajanga people na reflect over it say from that perspective Amrita, I would say that deployment of any other paramilitary forces in any area go however effective people ki demand oigera amo oigera the thinking at Delhi, the thinking at the state home ministers should be fundamentally clear as to how they would like to transform, they would like to change the mindset of the people. Makhoi wakatu hana haigadabane aduga department ama director hongba amo hongba kaisidi yes it might to some extent speak little bit but volume yam sawbudi ore mana thamjage
nungai je jamaka chatharak pada handak ta August 1 da thokiba inmates mayamna rally chatpagi matang da paumi na pautam chatpada police na police commando na ngasai tharak pada gi thokpagi irangi matang da lakhi basi pauna fam amadi chel express amadi pauche yam da phong bada masi headline se lakho chage masi da hari basi paumi fuba commando sub inspector Nikhil suspend tawkre paumi da coloring thingba sub inspector suspend tawkre bagi matang ni dugu makhata na hari basi amjuna makhata ba kari firep lawgada ge hai bedu khana ki dawri haribini ojas matang da lakchaning basi journalist ki matang da kari protection lai adugu masi gum magi matang na journalist sing da khud tharak pa kholak pasi gi ni riot thok pa khangde ma khande dum tholok ta banate masi matang na journalist ki protection kari lai makhata na lakchaning mana amjuna makhata na kari frep larok pa yai masi gi matang da oja kari mo lai thambi
ngarang sigi incident sigi matung da national conference ma ai online da yaujai Amrita on the excesses or the misdemeanors of uniformed personnel in India and somewhere around the country aduga mapandagi su participate karta we different atopa third world countries dagi su nang se video conference ai yaujai I was very happy to listen to one very senior citizen mana haiba say Manipur gi police kadai dagi lai hai where are the police personnel right from constabulary to kadai lai hai da yam nadi koi Manipur dagi lakpane Manipur dagi police mayam khalle IRB mayam khalle uniform sele training tawre we have not brought any police personnel from another state except koi IPS level gi kadar lakpanatana Manipur da leibasi IPS se koi double digit kunguntha nifu yobunate IPS ko remaining personnel are from this very soil madu ibataragadi society singna karamba mawongda Manipur da leiriba miyoi sing Manipur da leiriba micham sing Manipur da leiriba bungamak inhabitant mayam se akhoi gi maraktagi thokhraga police ama oiraba kanda karamba mawongda irang thorakpada Manipur si irang yam thoi Amrita ko khoi gi laibo yam thiba mana it is not the first instance Manipur da yamna iconic oiba pictures khara hoji Google tawda there were 3-4 Tampasana gira Boton Sanagira a Indian Dre most likely Tampasana girl higher secondary in Pim Sakra Lambi May the Pame Maduga Achoba Iran Natraga Riot Toropa Kap Nanaba Quigi spray Quigi Singyam Force Yam Kana Koba Kapa Quigi Varun Hybra Duma Labina Isinji Kapaga Hapado Yam iconic picture over worldly history the Yam iconic over picture Mayam Rapachan the commander Madugi Nubita or Baduna, Nupi Macha Hundu, Mayai the Pambado, Manipurgi, Nupi, police officer Yamlay, and the Gikogi, Matamatan, Renti Yamlay, constabulary Yamlay. Even better, there are very, very competent police personnel. Moi Ohumdudi in a Kanbada, Nupi Macha, constable Natraga officer na, Ibema, Harikanda, even by chance physically, Tamaching Tokasuyagi, that kind of a training we should at least inculcate within ourselves. Manipur see any spark of event right from school children to college adagi university dagi mahirol mayam je thoraga toine agitation ta matamda Manipur gi police personnel right from constable to DGP na karamba mawangda Manipur gi micham mayam da administration gi nungaitaba mahirol gi awaba mayam phongdorpa hojikna relief camp ki ori phongdorpa matam sai da thabak leitaba matamda police haibji 24-hour thabak chilli loinamak chilli. However, makoi orientation program lay makoi training yam na thari. Karigumba hangwa matam last 5-6 years that koi training chatana Manipur irang thorpa matam da mahirol class 6, 7, 8, 9 dasu hoji kilambi dasu thore. Higher secondary ki chu thore. Even 9, 10 tamba phaw lambi da thore. Madugi matak college tamba naha mayam nupim sa mayam mahirol thore. Madugi matak ta lekai ki mara pai bigi koi nupim sa mayam su thore. Mau mayam thorak tana koi mara pai bi mayam lekai ki thore. Madugi matak ta senior citizen phaw ba sahi humpu hela phaw maksi Manipur da nungai ta phundor pada ready da sat pada yawi. So far ihambada aina editorial question da hangjaki badoni Manipur gi police sophistication ana haiba matamda akoina khanbada di sophistication haibadi khulai afaba pibani and haiba sophistication dadi equipment afaba pibani haiba sophistication haibadi hojiki information technology dadi magi information sharing collection aduga irang thurak tinga da thingnabagi haiba yam bre CCTV adagi khulai dagi networking dagi. There are many ways how you say that Manipur gi police akoi sophistication da akoi enhanced da we haiba mo. This is important way. Tabudabu Manipur gi lairiba Home Minister, Chief Minister, DG gi, IG, Additional DG gi, SP mayam lairiba, even OC lairiba mayam se. Ai wakanda di you are our own blood. Akoi gi sam Manipur gi thorok ngakta de. Madu iba taraga di irang ama thorok matamda high school lagi angang ama ngahak numai tamna thorok paduda police mayam na magi lichaina kanbada sopo yawbudo that children will have a lifetime impact on that child. Karigumba issue amadagi mayam na thoraktana nipimsa mayam se akhoi gi yam nai Johnstone CC Ibuton sana tampasana haibagi segi circle da lari base any Manipur gi irang thorako matamda wawlong thorako matamda any spark thorako matamda they are the voice of the people. Mungajum mahiro na nungai tabadagi bang lang na bus tom thoroko matamda tear gas lichai even to some extent numina kakudra haibagi wakanduni akoina mi pai base sophistication of the Manipur police whether IRB wagera Manipur police wagera sophistication I issue atopa faculty amani they should have the state of the art equipment Manipur situation si yangagadi. However, how to handle heck lambi de thorak padagi irang thorak padagi lambi da nung tharak padagi amrita nung tharak pai is very important police ta ko sok pa yai amato bu yai makoi sil na pa yai nung na tharak pa haiba sidi sok pune. This is what I am saying. Nauring ka pa haiba sidi sok pune siba makti siroi. However, Manipur gi common people da mahirol da central forces both army and paramilitary forces have responded peaceful rally. Of course, peaceful rally. They have responded with live bullets. In such a scenario, masagi Iran Torapasida, Paumigi, Handaki, Susida. Very unfortunate because Paumi Amo in Su, I know where we are exposed to different difficult situations, different Aruga Mapamda, which is Changmamatamda, a life risk over Yabani. Handaki, Susidaki, Manipur police, Manipur government, and Kangadabase, sophistication, Hibasina, Atopa faculty, Amani, Aduga, police, Ama Heck Constable, Ama Chanki with the DG, Pawi Wakanda, public movement, Mayam, Lapamatamda, Karamba Mawanda, policemen, training Pigadabano, different batches, Angang Yankai Thorapaduna, Manipurgi, Kano, Mangtang, Thorakadamate. Frustration that divert takudabano. These are called trainings. These are called orientation programs, right from the top to the bottom, which should be reflected at the grassroots level. Koigi lambi da chatpada. Sauruga thorapasu karma mongda wari sanagadabano. Nupa macha nupi macha mayam mahirol mayam thorapasu karma mongda handle takudabano aibase. Manipur gi government na Manipur gi uzik like Lashu Hairab officer Mayamashina Kallaga workshop, the seminar, the conference, the focus group discussion, the how to handle, how to minimize any harm to the common people. Public the Kangalakasu Akogi in orientation program. We have suggested whenever we have a very frank, open discussion with the Manipur police and the all Manipur Working Journalists Union, since 1981, 82, 84 adwaidagi even akhoi senior mayam na table pamba matamda matamda di 303 ga na hairam mani hojikti AK-47 ne hoji paina riba mayam se aduna assault rifle na tra pai riba covid mayam se Amrita, my personal observation, taking a cue from the last incident which happened, Manipuri police so introspective, because they are the same part of our society. They are a part of the same. Lekai degi akhoi degi hoji constable gi natraga SI gi ASI gi SP gi uniform the dress helaga thoke dorimni. Halakan that they live in that same lekai. They live in that same akhoi podieng gi akhoi even whether any community loin le dorimni even moi kwata da lera so they have to come back. Lekai gi karmam thoropada ingi karmam thoropada they lead the society as a responsible citizen. Uniform services mayamase and many people look up to them for a change. Aduna ne kuna lari kaiba mayam MPS mayam IS mayam se krimdagi khallakanda lebaki damakta kari phagada bano haibado and idang thokanda da nate thokdringai da su public relation leiba aduga mi masak to hek bubada ingba tapna trang adumba akhoi important oibase akhoi London da strike ure akhoi bobi haidana akhoi mi thoropa matamda they don't harm people unless kulai paraga lang tarokpagi natabida ko nung thaba natraga these are small haider ka sosi uncalled for incident ne however uniform personnel they are professional aina hekta syringe paraga hila kapya ponte you have to be a qualified nurse paramedic to provide that medicine injection kapagi doctor matang chatkadabane and similarly uniform personnel they are professional. Adugi professional do da akhoi lekai dagi thokiba chinna ngakta let us have that kind of a feeling that we are secure under them. Lambi da uniform set pa police ama oiba nungdang ogira ahan ogira rather than hating them, rather than fearing them, I should feel comfortable that I am safe because there is one police personnel standing on the roadside. Yamgira yamoidra lichai mapagira pariudra police ki constable legin amana lambi de lepa matamda common men I feel secure, I feel protected haibado. That should be the objective of that establishment. Mind thumbs ge
and if aza wapam nyoza adugam khata na chatharak pada People's Chronicle the Fonglok Libasi former ADC members pressed for holding local body polls samadi ichal express yaw headlines the Fonglok Libasi TA and Hills ke minister Tribal Affairs and Hills ke minister Lokto ADC ge Mikhal pangthokna ba hill area committee ge clearance athuba da PU habani masigi matang da lakhing badi Manipur ge leingak na hajek se local body election se mathang sum leithok yaithok tona lakhe bani aduga masigi matang da mamang na su cabinet mi mama pham laga mathang da matai ama lepaga tawguni hai adugi matang da muko su cabinet mi phamaga muka yaithok ki bige matang dani aduga makhatana lakning badi ADC Mikhal ge matang da chief minister na phongdo ke wa pham da delimitation loiraga pangthokani na haibe wa pham ni adubu delimitation di loigadabadi lara dana delimitation and process si ana sangma process ni matai na kuine changba yam thuna su hekta loidaba aduna haibadi delimitation loiraga pangthokani haibe tara kadi ELITETV committee ge election je matam kaktana yai thokdabra ado lakning ni boba pham sina kari ge damakta local body election je sum yai thoklaga laklebano Manipur lenga na local body ge election sida power sinaning tabagi matang la kari motham bidu aja haibi
Manipur ge chief minister na any local body amagi election se delimitation gi matung da pangthokani haragadi he is the right person to explain why maram masoi lerangani na khale and that is the responsibility and the ownership of the government to explain to the people why the local body elections would be held or conducted after or post delimitation hojiksi Amrita Manipur da leriba demographic profiles and the imbalance or the unnatural growth of population in Manipur. Mayam na kinari bisi aduni mayam na apprehensive ori bisi aduni. If at all Manipur da lari bisi nahan assembly the NRC gi akhoi wari rata hanagi honorable chief minister amadi huji ori ba very respected honorable chief minister anigi transaction of exchange of ideas assembly the tagre when assembly the ngang mayam se comments people but we are just reflecting what happened in the assembly. ILP Karino, NRC Karino, I will say, and as soon as Manipuri common people, Mayamase, they are not well informed. I will to some extent misguided. Iho Amada leadership sina CSO mayam akhona khangdaba si ILP haraga hekta web ama kanna sagalakpa NRC haraga kanna sagalakpa rather than ILP and NRC the other day elite ki TV ina hajagi budu Manipur government gi Manipur administration gi lam lekai block level lagi district level lagi right from the OC to inspector to SP, DC ko, SDO dagi any kind of an unnatural growth in the population akogi inbuilt system am lagi dabani lamdam sigi Manipur gi damakta borders were we are bordering with foreign countries aduga akogi di foreign country danate neighboring state mayam si sukarma monga Manipur gi demographic profile sida change ma lakpagi akiba ma leiribado leiragadi it is not late thengdri time hujikta gi hekta hobu yai we can have a starting point right from today rather than claiming ILP adagi NRC haibagi mahutta let the state government initiate its own process which is very legal within the framework of the constitution mapandagi mi machangak pa haibase state government na magi systems the report of haibado that is mandatory which is a constitutional duty of any institution huzik yam chakhotlab lamda UK da magi matam expire to hibawa tanthora ibni any foreigner ama changbada America da changma matam da yam wa abjani and Manipur as one person said Manipur is not a dumping ground for people who are looking for safe haven magi hinganabagi damtanataba crime natraga atopa chatharu mayam dugi Manipur city khangaroena safe haven gagi mafamne na lapadu natabada tumina changa ga naronda changa ga Manipur city sida kari kana ba phangi akoi ST gi maming lauraga mathang loba yai SC gi maming loba yai magi naturalize gi process angak pa yai madugi du Amrita ILP haibasi karino NRC haibasi karino debate sigi mamangda mogi lakpa NRC dis India gi mafam ho chanadriko aduga ILP mafam lakthoga so lambi da lakpadagi lupa kun gi chama gi chani gi tax lobudu nate ekoina kiribadi delimitation hana palakpa sida government gi mana khalamada ba khanchi Manipur da hujik leiriba population Manipur da leiriba Aadhaar paiba sing Manipur da leiriba domicile certificate paiba sing Manipur da leiriba even voter I card paiba mayam se chumna yaugibra yaudabra haibagi adu delimitation nothing like this so we have an assembly we have a cabinet this was spineless to initiate the program initiate the movement at least in retrospect chahi amagi mamangda taragi mamangda kungi mamangda haragasu Manipur da lariba mioi mayam se moi bona fight lamdam sigi mioi ra habase khandokpada yauriba mayam se we should be able to have a very strong administration aduni hujik mayam nangrang nungnam haina reiba mayam do haidi election na china khwaidagi important bani municipal body mayam su election to bungam da na paisa leite na mathang haibaduna that is a different perspective aduga delimitation loraga lam khaidok narakanda election pangthokani haibasi so government gi si underlying implication da aduga koina editorial manu yeng matamda aina haiba matamda ikoina of course hairiba sigi manungda kari leriba ichen hainu habadudi that is our imagination but basic human intelligence na tapadi Manipur da election pangthokpa ngambang da haiba si kira agadi kari no haiba matamda Manipur da demographic profile haibadi both hada bagi mi mayam leriba mayam se thagado mi mayam se are they bona fide people person of this very state mapandagi changakpra foreign dagi changakpra haibagi perspective to amma yaura haibadugi question ne koina hangi mase if that is so the state government should not be apprehensive they should frankly say Manipur gi voter list laiba mayam se ekoi doubt oire bureaucrat mayam ineffective oibadagi agency mayam se ineffective oidabadagi committed oidabadagi thawa yaudabadagi corruption dagi Manipur da mi mayam tungan ma changakhraga ekoi gi lamdam sidai da khunda gre haibase if the government feels so they should tell the truth to the people lamai thamjage
yamna nungaijeza adubu correction amtak tawjage ngasai delimitation gi matungda election tawgani na haibadu ADC khaktagi ni te election gi ate local body ki yaude masim tanga correction tawja hoke dugam khatana lakjabada lakchaning bada Ichel Express ki amadi Pongnapam gi headlines ani se ai punna lokhachage masida haribase world gi rating da miyamna khwaidagi pamna baluching basing ge manungda Narendra Modi ne makok oide haribase US President Joe Biden dagi su amadi UK gi hanak ta khan ke Prime Minister dagi su ranking se hena wangna mahakna khwaidagi pamna ba luching ba mo oide na haibagi matang dani aduga khwaidagi pamna baluching ba world gi na khwaidagi pamna ba number 1 oide ba luching ba sina hairakhi ba matang sida handak ta India da phangdok ki ba International Conference of Agriculture Economics ki kontra humdoi su bagi mifam da mahakna Tham ke wa phamsi Manipur gi chakhau ngalem da pamna ba hengal lakle amadi Manipur gi chakhau wasi superfood amo oina se recognize to ba dugum bagi matang de wa pham che phongdo lakli masi matang dai lakchani wa phamna hariba chakhau se Manipur amadi North East ki mafam da di thaina de gi se hona chana ra kala ba masagi nutritional value da natana si cultural identity moina so koina Manipur gi chakhau se dum lakle bani masi matang na chakhau gi protection chakhau gi matang da khoi Manipur se da GI tech na chim kadi to ba yai adu gi makhata na lakchani badi masi gi Prime Minister na thamlakle wa pham se gi matung ina lakpada kari makha sigi protection adegi masagi harvest hingatna bani khangde amani khangde degi magi product si mahena mapanda puthokna ba magi food processing na chingba kari torok payai mase world ge number 1 khwaidegi pamna ba leader na phungdar bok ba phamina ocha kari thamini ching matangda
chahi kharagi mamangda Manipur da apagi agriculture department gi hek gate sidai da apagi packet phajana sakhau sikhara yolame Amrita chakhau kilo makhai gi compress oiba mapanda puba ya ba gi piba ya ba dugumba Manipur gi public ki yolame ai hujik su yolam mudra hina khali stall macha ama hangne aduga ai mapana chalam daida Manipur gi ngari phajaba soibum phajaba chakhau phajaba pek oina purga ya ba pochi ekoi even to some extent Manipur si mi si da leibu nataba adubu chaningba mayam se ekoi Manipur dagi puthoe sina ekoi gi packet natraga commercial perspective the gift oina pina bani ekoi souvenir oina mass consumption mass export ibadi this would be for an expert from the Department of Agriculture from the government of Manipur as to how chakhau ki home natraga any ekoi gi indigenous oiba Manipur sigi lamdam siga soil siga chanaba producer ma natural producer ma commercial gi damakta puthokpa haibase ai hana koi seminar workshop ta attend tawbudasu koi editorially comment tawjakhre Manipur da leriba pikraba 23,000 square kilometers ki manung da leiba agricultural land haibase nong gi pixel lakpa and masi amta expand tawde aduga pikraba natraga chawgraba Manipur natraga haina raga so chidagi thorakpa natural produce ama chakhau ama mahau magi soil hajiga chanaba muthora paibase it should be the primary target of the department magi patent logera magi kogi den kanosigi thoiba agricultural produce gi magi kanu maintain tawnabugi damakta even to some extent masi thariba kangbu sisu incentive khara pigera magi mongda leragadi amangamani nahan ama harame UP gi Mathura haiba district asina Manipur gi en chawena I will look at the size of Manipur aduna Manipur gi leriba agricultural land gi karigumba mahuksa gi oiba akhoi gi indigenous any produce natraga breed ama puthorpa matamda world market ki damakta di madungam dam makti oidaba however lamdam sigi oiba lehau siga chanaba adudi the government ki department me amna soin toram mudraina khali the very fact that chahau gi packet aduga chahau thariba mayam ekoi usu wasub thopada ekoi gi last ki athum hau yoropada chahau na happy vibe say it is a part of our culture aduga chahau bu thariba lobuk singsigi awaba natraga magi masing handara iba size chahau thabagi lobuk su tongana ma keram darkar lai madu iba taragadi if at all chahau waisina mina recognize tawba mina pamakpa aduga globally pamakpa matamdadi are we ready to supply are we ready to maintain the quality habigi question mark to ne Amrita mapandadi pami harakanda akhogi on lamdam sidai at least migi chaklen amada tengkot macha amada Manipur gi chahau ni haraga chabangam bagi puthopangam bagi wakhandu nattabada are we prepared to retain, maintain the tradition of our own chahau cultivation ki process haibado? Aidi mamang kharagi mamang da koi newspaper da ubuda, television da ubuda di, they have started that progress. Laibak kiba haigadra Manipur ki irang se hujik thoi basida labuk to phau chu pangam da ba khara laptak pa leba matam sida di, it will be a very serious challenge. Aduga ai opinion da di yamgera yamoidra magi quantitative value do not magi quality do yeng kanda Manipur gi thorak pani haiba Manipur gi lak pani haiba ngari Manipur gi lak pa soidon oigera soibum oigera ngari oigera any kind of a processing unit traditional way that thamba haiba se me amagi indigenous people amagi magi sense of belonging the natana we have inherited that art for hundreds of years, for thousands of years madugi culture do adu public na waragasu, farmer na waragasu, karing mamung amada, chahau haibasi mapandagi pami natrag phaji hairagadi, aikhoisu thawai yauna, government aduga magi department asina, pungning lausing thadaduna, protect tawuna natana magi, quality maintain tawwa, aduga production jo hengal an mahaibado, ai admain thamjage amita, kaino da even akoi function da chatpa matamda, atoba country chatpa matamda, Manipur gi chahau se special desert ona puthorpa mafum khara yawi aduga lamdam sidagi oina chatpa matamda we try to explain to them haibadi akoi lam mangsala aduga plus farmers singa masigi damakta awabdu su lei however magi a cut diamond is a cut diamond krai dagi phangmono haibada chinjak ta su akoi gi fruit tagi natural fruit tagi aduga tungan tungan variety mayam lei bai base chahau is not just a breed of rice chahau reflects our own indigenous culture which we have inherited from our ancestors. It is the responsibility of the Department of Agriculture at least to look into how we can preserve the culture of chahau. Chahau du thana ba hona ba da koi culture mayam amuk sep mathang tarakani, and that is how we identify that as an indigenous produce, which is defined with that umbilical cord kind of yadraba lam sigal house ga chunabagi kind of yadraba tat pa yadraba relation do. Pena chahau hai bese su ora kadrai do main thamjage
Makasa dharakpada ngarang si Indian Organ Donation Day 2024 observe tawkhre rims tasu jenims tasu no mafam kaya ma tasu masi observe tawkhi aduga masigi matang sida the Institute of National Organ and Tissue Transplant Organization not to hariba institute asinasu Manipur si one of the best emerging state in the field of organ transplantation in Northeast India haina masigi honor si su pidakrabani masigi matang dalak chaning wadi handak se irang thok tringai gi mamang dagi su adum Manipur se Myanmar dagi su miyoi mayam laktana adai atai state dagi su kayama rims na duga Manipur da laktana Manipur si one of the best medical tourism gi hub hai tare ko masi oi khrabani aduga hojik tu irang marak da su du dagi atai te mafam kayama da sothaba leiraga su Manipur gi ne de laying bagi matang da de Manipur gi se adum khomang chaksalapa gi siguma pau se makayama dum phongdorakli masi de ta ba da yamna welcome tawjai yamna su nungai je aduna masi gi ngasai gi India gi institute hariba sina Manipur da one of the best emerging state in the field of organ transplant in a pirak pagi honors gi matang da oja kari habininge ojai kari modling masigi pause
amita ngarang je ai gi on residence ta imanaba tare ni panse akoi kari mukra draft tawgi akoi evening the pull we were having a very serious meeting regarding the association that I am associated with aduga yam nungai bamna in the lighter vein colleague amana hai mogi recently mari mata mapang da layang chalwi layang basina aduga magi caretaker amane family gi ani am chatle hai wa famsida and they straight away spent about 40 to 50,000 rupees 40 to 50,000 rupees in the transit while reaching that place higaro matung da hotel am da lei hai moi maris hotel da anako amada thira kanda lupa lising hundram muk chakhraba matung da doctor sigi appointment hek lo ru kanda doctor sina maming di pajaroi ngrang do doctor du hai mapan da chalu rakanda moi mari chatle flight ki ticket ka hotel am da lele doctor si hugo kanda doctor sina wari lona tarba matung lona yengba matung da magi advice da kari hanke bu he wrote 3 names of doctors and 3 names of hospitals which is in Imphal sida yengu nungalaga nini lelaga hale that means they have not only spent but wasted 1.5 lakhs mapansa lugudo In a similar way, Manipur gi Imphal hai Manitra magi peripheral district me amse la ibase healthcare sector da even diagnostic da even kogi babina diagnostic lakpadagi di there are many things that we don't have to send outside. Aduga Manipur gi private hospital me amse da koina expensive ne so high ko. Adung sagi imana basina hai bada moi mari layang bachalure halakpada ngha lai thore lupa lakh amaga makhai. Whereas they went to the hospital, they spent about 5,000-6,000 rupees, including medicine, and now they are perfectly fine. The Manipur people, Manipur health sector, including transplant and major surgeries. Medicine gidi Amrita, medicine gi treatment sidi idak saraga yeng mane. What makes a complete doctor? Surgical components or doctor hospital gi bane. When we have that component of surgical facility, even if we heart narakpada, measure block amalakpada, stand half nabagi damagta, upon the chatana yang wanarame. And there are many places in Manipur. Akugi nahan likaigi yambamasu stand amahape, hekapalorakanda magi block amasula ena muk same hospital amuk chatle. And it was very satisfactory. Madu mapana chala magadi ay yambasi itay mapuni masanupa anipuni care gidamagta. And they would have spent about 1.5 to 2 lakhs magi travel but magi stay lo na magtago. Adu magi same amount sila Manipur within a periphery of 10 kilometers. They just had to spend that expenditure for the stent and necessary medicines. Minor surgery, major surgery ni ko even stent high basis so heart manung de kap khairaga hapa stent na pipe masa ma ka pa dune. Aduna Manipur gi paramedics natraga doctor mayamna punsal laga Manipur da consortium collaboration gi matungin na hospital ama Jennings Hospital, RIMS Hospital ay karigum ta haijage khoi gi government na minister riba RIMS natraga Jennings natraga khoi district hospital da riba mayam se common man mayam gi khoi gi awabagi paisa pi bangam da bagi du gi chauba mateng ma pangai Manipur da paisa khara pai bana traga well to do kharna private hospital la chat khargadi magi paisa pi bangam jadaba mayam government hospital chat iba mayam se process khara kitang handare unless when you have a very specialized doctor kar uning bagi RIMS ta Jennings ta lap natna private hospital la sina achauba relief ama phange ngamjadaba mayam adugi dam ta government hospital la sapa matam da aduna ne aduna Amrita Manipur da even blood bank lampa Manipur da transplant imanaba ma kidney transplant tawe upon the lupal ayang khai haibadu angna rakanda swide around 25 lakhs da kidney plant transplant matawe which is a huge amount low inkon lam yolaga sagi operation tor mudaba transplant tor mudaba Manipur da facility le ram bagi da maktane that is that amount Amrita mina hanabse Lying ba amada luanamak luarakanda what is more important is the bill duneva RIMS ta akogi angang delivery am sal loi lorak lising humri ni private hospital sal loi tracing tra train pan tai na haibido lising tra train pan pi bangam duna private hospital la sat khragadi ngamjadaba mi mayam adu general hospital la even RIMS santraga general santraga public hospital mayam da chatle haibagi wakhal dune however ai wakhal da yamna specialized oiba every single functional unit of the body, right from eyes to toes to nerve to urology, dagi kidney, dagi liver, dagi pulam ki damakta Manipur da yam specialized oiba, including transplant, haibase pilak pa haibagi ngamba private institution haibase. Laidagadi, it is an additional value to the state. Aduga, in my experience, Amrita, ikuna Manipur Polo International silakamatamda yamna nakpama lay. We are part of the Manipur Polo International, America dagi, England dagi, France dagi, lakpa mayam se loina maksi khangaraba matamdadi some players, some officials makoi tha mamangji India da hana lai loina maksi sanaba mayam se aina sir why are you coming to India 1 month prior to November 22 harkanda I have come with a family for a medical checkup and I have to undergo a surgery. Really? Kay ginawa kanda. Ako yung lamsi na lakot dagi di mamanju khange. Aduga even Manipur da layang matamda. If they had to get their treatment and surgery in US, that will be almost the cost will be multiplied by 10. Family sulam koi basu lay India da. Aduga magi layang si loin tawre, which means sagi tourism ki component na mahabido. tourism means lam koi bala punate lam the lapu the movement of people for any purpose like tamgera pot yon gera laengera lapu the movement of people is called tourism maduna healthcare sector da lam sakhulak pai base Manipur gi paisa thoku da chatkibida natana mapan gi lapu su achoba amani I think sigi matang de koina haibo government of India gi natraga Manipur government gi natraga bank establishment asina healthcare sector educational sector myam says the common people the one the nabgi damakta some kind of a subsidy sagi startup kind of hariba makoi gi MSc loan kind of hari matam se even from small items adune ko gi healthcare sector changi ba myam se subsidy oina piba because there are many provisions how subsidy is provided by the union government ai hujikta ngrang nang su ma paramani what are the areas what are the sectors ai doctor amatam rena government gi department gi na tabi ai na unit am hanga gadi what kind of subsidy you give subsidy bi gi bisina mi gi livelihood am su ogidor bani mi amada laktara ai gi unit am hanga gi da subsidy pi gragadi Madugi nupa natraga nupi laik tamuba bado government na karor mari mangagi magi tolopi bagi mahutta you have given a subsidy and you have established your own unit to start your own livelihood haibagi pandam dunia minta aduna Manipur da even educational magi institute me am lakpa coaching class me am lakpa da natana healthcare sector da any progress government should bank should central government should have a different outlook in the health sector because health basically is very important quite a lo hangchang ya da lo re aduga hangchang phaba amadi nara kan de yeng bai base this should be the primary duty of a government like shu amadi health hai base government gi responsibility ogida bane hai base it is a debate how governments are elected how government lose in other countries angam da mahi masingda like ta tamba matamda sinam changhandaba nara kanda senior citizen mayam da pasayam changhandaba wahandaba hai base these are two accounts when politicians lose elections outside the country America wagera Japan wagera Singapore wagera healthcare hai base karino hai base gi damakta da you have long debates nara kanda di very expensive and what does the government support in healthcare hai bune
Daga masiga mari leina no ja healthcare gi matang da di yamna khumang chawsalabasu animal health ki matang da veterinary da di yamna sothari Manipur se veterinary department da chalu ba matan da su pochei se leiba leita ba dugumba yam te doctor sing matik charabasu khogi ki hospital si da di yamna matik chaba se watli aduna masigi matang da government su veterinary sector da su masi se chikhapi bam thok ta bra ja kari khale
Amrita akhodi sagon loibani na we are from an association because Manipur da hujik legi se han hana Manipur Horse Riding and Polo Association and I'm a member we manage at least on an average of 130 to 50 ponies every year koi chahi gudingi koi ahalaman singna pullaga hodu ombadagi Manipur Horse Riding Association maybe the only association in the entire country or maybe the only association in the entire world Malayam Sida Manipur Horse Riding Association na 2005 la 3 ra subject to correction ko ina kan 2003 na 5 so in oramani Manipur gi lamfelda Manipuri pony breeding farm haina government na pikraba area ma Manipuri pony breeding farm haina akoida sinaraba matung da Manipuri pony breeding farm sida alaman sing 2003 4 5 sidagi ina something sing with we had 40 mares ali sagon among aduga stallion ahumariga malnaga hudura kanda we have been maintaining about 150 ponies every year masa pola pasina sina ko na club the piba interested people the piba asuna the wisdom of our four founders of the Manipur Horse Riding and Polo Association is to save the Manipuri pony breed which the government has extended in many ways function silly program silly lemo was in karana sagon thada dana tawi and that is just a small area Manipur da sagon thawa yaw mayam aina habasi Amrita in general samayang ron halakadori kunu halakadori ni ko akoi si sagon da awa thenaba mayam si amana yum de yok pa haina sam lei yum de yok ko amana mapanda semi federal ona yok pa ama yum da yok pa hui hogdom natraga akoi gi magi produce ki bakhom gi mid ki sangom gi thorpa mayam si ki tumon ba ama nusi bagi yok pa ama sigi care ama natabida Manipur gi pony breed asina yamna precious oiba khoi gi lamdam sigi mi ga historical oiba lam yam sigi pulam sini haiga pullaga la sangai ba kali ba smaina sagol kan ba yade haibagi amma sigi perspective ta political decision lamsigi my own says da achowa ani division ani khatle akoi su yam na hawaina Manipuri Police Society, Manipur Horse Riding and Polo Association, and Manipur Equestrian Sport Kidamukali was ahummakse. We have been very closely associated for almost 30 years. Thengaribadi, the government of Manipur does not have its own adequate budget. Sa sangidamakta budgetary provision laitaba. Aduga hudakta lariba sanjin hondal lariba veterinary department ki se Amrita, you just go in the morning, midnight, 24 hours ki service amale. Aduda nahan se koi sagol ki meeting tawda nupi msa ama of course yam nungaite machin manaw male nupi msa ni se haudong ama puraga lae siraga purako male haudong se ado doctor do na on arrival da mana idak ta kapna khotna dagi magi hingatna bohna bodo ibema this is already brought that high na high matam da haudong si nupi msa amna two wheeler ama thawi tungda pamme alu ai hek miti chana banate around 45 degree dagi yengbada I know the love for an animal from that little girl papidu ira chelaga tap tap tara kan hudung du yenga tap na thaugi bado it was a very dramatic scene sidan natana Manipur da hui yokpa hudung yokpa yam kanna chandari ba matam saisda dukan khudimak lekai khudimak ta lonamak veterinary gi hui gi hudung gi sasang gi damak ta tungana dukan mayam leba mayam ji yam na ui you will see in every main road hudung gi hui gi kari kawi ko gi list kawra adagi magi play magi chikne ba mayam ji yam ui. The issue today is the Directorate of Veterinary Animal Husbandry Services Manipur Haibiniko department se Directorate of Veterinary and Animal Husbandry Services Manipur public ka director gi level lagi under the aegis of the ministry magi minister gi makhada yamna toina unaraga thought process ama pura aga Manipur da karamba mongda I am not talking of Imphal district khuding makta as a human being magi hospital se karama mong develop tawdagi haibado to cater to 2-3 different perspectives yum da yo iba sama yum da yo iba sandagi adagi iroidagi magi kanabagi yo iba ama amuna ekhogi tawdaba yadaba akhogi culture ga chunari ba sagol ama asigumbagi perspective mayam je khandarba matungda I think we should have a very open debate magi hajar we should have a very open forum to discuss as to how the government of Manipur should open its eyes and ears to the people. Almain thamjage Amrita haibadi department nama haiba matam da magi tungan lakani yum da yoiba ina kumba mayam na yoiba natraga sanung sibadagi yoiba mayam hongdong mayam yoiba mayam se ina sung khan da yum da phamung da kakhalaga su tungan na koigi makoigi kari kawi vaccination thaba khutbagi sina tungan ba amani madurgi amuk ji akoigi san leriba Humming lady, but not a loriba mayamasi, a quiggy quinquennial life, some dogs a yarogasu, they are easily perishable. I did Chathok, Gidoba, she out in Amuna, Kalsagidam, taking the Yada, Yok of Yada, Amuna. And one more thing, Amuna, wildlife the ladiba, area singi Makogi domain among Akpama. These are perspectives that we have to understand. Manipur the ladiba, part mayamase, wetland area says the live say, Lamdamdugi, season gi live, migratory bird mayam. Asigi chakta phamne. What we should know is Manipur da lariba wetland mayam se Malayam sigi Iran dagi Siberia dagi Africa dagi America dagi wetland da laiba sa mayam paiga laiba mayam sigi muigi mayumgi part amani haibase Manipur su oiribani Manipur da 10-15 days tha amagi damakta ngahaktan la amaga paikriba sa nga mayam se uchek mayam se Amrita makoigi mayumdi Malayam sigi matum tariba malim sigi ekhuna yum matek ama mkhoi da piri bine even if it is for a very short period and madugi chakta pham mayam do hek loshilak matam dadi atopalam dagi paira aga mai chakta pham leram dragadi they will die they will perish aduna ne the first lesson that we learn as a journalist the importance of wetland haibasina malim gi temperature malim gi ising nungsit asi hingibra haibasi wetland sina indicator amani when migratory birds that you used to see in your childhood uttrakandadi global warming and plus malim gi aying asagi magi natural process ईश्वर पीरमीब लाइन पीरमीब creation asi mangdar e haibase migratory birds are the indicators. This is something that we learn as a generation as a journalist when we attend workshops and seminars on the values of wetland. Aduna migratory bird lakta rise laktragadi moshi lambi lamkhang sirabane because they come flying 7-8 hours 2-3 months yum hongna hongatari matam saisda Manipur gi Lakestrine Valley haibasigi wetland lariba mayam se they do play a very significant role. Rather than destroying them, it should be a part of our diversity. Mine comes again.
Aduga makasa tharak pada huelan pauda yam na nongai taba headlines sama yawi makas masila khochage masida haribasi Manipur da lupa lakh khara da angang yon pagi chatnabi leire police na case lokhat laga Manipur da lupa lakh khara da angang yon pagi chatnabi leire police na case lokhat laga investigation chatharabasu mangam sandre April tang konitoi 2024 gi punumidang pung nipan ga minit yankhai mari rom tarak pada normal delivery da rims da unaki bangang amasu numit nini surak pada lupa lakh ani da yonthokiba masigi report ni edu gi da angang nupa macha ani lupa lakh ani makhai ama dilak ama makhai laudani yonthokiba masigi matang da lakchaning badi handak che Manipur jai fiba myamna soklak pana imung kaya ama da gi masigum ba paw se yamna taba phangi makhoina khali basi nuksira ba macha do give up taraga saphaga da ba imung ama da sinaraga di nongai ba mapo ama legi ba so ngamgani na haiba de gi sumana lupa lakh ani makhai mamanga tiknaraga give up tawnarak pa de gi di handak da so relief camp da so ngang una khiba yaw ba kaya ama so rims da duga la aga po ki ba masi sing se sumaina give up tarak pa pa kaya ama tai adu ba paw se da taba se give up tawaga sumaina mamal tiknaraga yonthokhibagi matang da di taraga hairiba mafam angang singsi mafam jugo chada ba mafam chada ba da sinagibagi pikibagi pau di phangdri aduna matang se lakchaning basi Manipur government legally adoption ama mechanism ama adopt tawna ba ngasai maza yaujadri ba mama mapa singna maza phangjana ba adoption gi center ama legally mechanism ama thambiraga di masigum pam da ba mawong asigum thawong thok pa je hena channelize taroga hena more legal and a very monitor to ba mong da leibagi khudong chaba su phanggadori bani no masi matang da kari habini
Amrita angang po ba matungda mari matana khangna bana yokhiba magi yokpa ngamjaroi haibagi perspective ama aduga angang namfuda hospital lagi hura laga yongiba ama these are different stories atopa lamdamda hospital lagi angang kitang breastfeeding lurapa matamda yumdagi mang phawa yawwa adumbagi wari se tuan it is not only heard and reported in Manipur atopa lamdamda su yam lei China gi achoba one family or one couple one child hairubadagi hujiksi angang singse amam tang leibadagi vocabulary phawa iche haiba ibung haiba ipa haiba yam haiba si mangselapagi wari se China dagi reflect tawri se akhoigi aigi iche lei inonupa lei isanupi lei ibung anupi na ibung haini adu vocabulary me am se family de thore ime China da one of the major socio political development da yamba adagi chanupi iche haibagi dictionary dagi mangselapasi adugumba asu yaugi atumin tumina moi macha ama puaga pokta baleba piba adumagi waris na those are different things angang pogla aga logi bagi mitang sisu as a young journalist we encounter certain things these are beyond explanations and logical explanations of a human being macha poktaba couple chahitara suraba na mama oiningba mapa oiningba haibagi angang ama makogi biological child natraga su oiningba haiba ama haibagi wakana se these are something that law cannot define couple ama chahitara waraba matungda macha su udabasi pi ingai da hek yokcharaga magi macha ni na khalna yoga maming hagai bapula unga logi basi akoigi imanaba sing lekai dagi lon mak thengna basi yawe and these are certain things where lamdam sigi law je phane am chapula ga su law duna define to ngam daba human relationship khara su le at the same time akoina khangada badi marak says the agent amana angam hura laga yole haragadi that is a crime khangada base ko biological child nataba Manipur da khoi isung imanaba mayam loina mak adum khangbelei lekai na khangbale madi ngang ori ngai dagi yopani haraga su like his or her own daughter and son jum sida dum chawga dum leiba chana badagi dum leiba su yawe. These are where even chakhulabal lamgi law na interpretation da explain to ngam daw, because human sentiment, human emotion and spirituality siga laina bada law na intervene to ngam daw. Adi ma hayeng ichanupa do machanupa ama po e natraga machanupi ma yu e na pi nga degi logi bado hayeng register da din my son my daughter ni yaw rani kanam ta na su complaint to adum lai khrani to du adoption da di chakut pagi matung in there is a lot of legal proceeding. Aduga akhoi na khangata ba se Amrita angang hura laga yole hospital lagi yole parents khangda myam da phamung da angang lai ram dre haibadu na that is a criminal perspective. Akhoi na ubu da ba se hospital lagi ngang le ramdre hai bse ina chum khan bada Haryana da yam tari Haryana da nupa gi ratio ga nupi gi ratio ga around 750 muk lai hai. Haryana da nupa 750 da ina hai soira ba nupi na masing wat Haryana da hujik se ko nupi masing wat pa nupa lising ma leiba matam da Haryana da hujik nupi masa se 750 gumbu leiba masigi kosi natural birth ni haibra na tabra adudi khangdre journalist me am thijilaba kanda di akhoi gi angang ji poktringai da akhoi gi kan hai tare pre poktringai da angang chi lokthok pa haibdu nupi ni hana khang kanda aduna akhoi gi fetus da test over ya yade kaina hai ri bse aduna Haryana is one of the states struggling because the ratio, the girl boy ratio is very low in the state of Haryana. There are about 750 boys. There are 750 boys when there are 100 nupamasa nupamasa na hen bagi aduna nupi macha se Haryana da hujik parent atopa community dagi mathang yam changi chang by the marriage da nupamasa ne halaga nupi thiyo phangda balgi. These are different perspectives of how we look at the feticide. The common issue that we should understand today is whether angangi ratio natraga natural matamda lamda walapada culture da solapa society da solapa mayam sigi ama socio economic problem gi ama amitang sagi sandaring ai da main question do kawgre.
Main question di government na ngasai legally adopt tong nova center ya mechanism thambi bana phobra zama tam solo selak paina kitang tentak na thambi.
Government has no right to decide how many children you can have. Government gi council le rekanda angang adopt wa habsigi NGO gi through the gi facilitator amoina role ma play do wi angang ma yoke har kan natrak amator ka the government should be a facilitator. They have no right to intervene. And angang ma yoke have the amaga NGO non-governmental organization amana counseling pira matunda normally government gi counselor mayam department yar matunda sigum gi thabak se all over the world non-governmental research amana magi worker mayam asina health worker mayam asina identify tawe XYZ ma XY magi AB haiba couple sigi macha leite ma macha ama yokning haiba matamda magi randomly orphanage lakadaba natraga leiba mayam pokpa ngamdana hundu amma natraga leiba mayam sigi variety mayam sigi mama mapa masa kanghandana tongan madugumagi NGO mayam sini yam kanna professional ethics among yauna perform the way. Yes, adoption haiba sidi Amrita much before the formulation of law. Adoption haiba ji karino magi law haiba sina karino haibagi mamangda already 356 tagi Caesar na ro na masana taba yoga ai chane haina inherit tawi ba yawsi. We have seen from many things go even Mahabharata haigera Ramayana haigera Karnagi wari haigera yam legre eklavegi haigera Manipur da su ningthaugi even angrang se yekhoi kanoma thangal gi nupi macha ama thengnai how thangal became a part of the mainstream yoki bani haiko khoi thangal haiba se that is a different historical perspective aduga yokpa haiba sida hojikan di legal perspective ama changmanina law gi tunganba government of India gi chanabi am lei maduna tabida akhoi gi Manipur gi chanabi gi matungina aina aigi chawana yokhre haiba se su akhoi gi family gi Majai nate Manipur gi lariba tribe khudi mak loina makse aina aigi chawna yo e haiba se forget about anything legal perspective sumnatana lekaina relative na society na yana aina yengabani ko you open ko. This is also our own institution much before the existence of the provisions of adoption by the government of India. Adumani sulay amita ko different perspective ni you haiba ina ilore haiba se adubu hojikti magi Aadhaar card haiba magi certificate haiba lakpanina adoption haiba se hojikti ayamana legally oina pangthoknare aduga marak tadi goigi ina hajabadune there are certain things as to how there are certain norms that we have to respect as an indigenous people.
Dugo jalo shalakpada paum lakho chage hoilan pau gi headlines oina duga matam solo shalakpaino ja tentana thambiu masida lakning basi langi warisin puraknaba kanada tai lado homa da tagota gadawribra Amit Shah unakraba Mizoram ki Chief Minister Laldo Hama wari sananaba Imphal da lakadawribra haibagi maha wahang sida Mizoram ki Chief Minister nang handakta Laldo Hama so one of the most qualified retired IAS maha masamang Mizoram ki MP so oiramabani mahak se Amit Shah unarubagi matungdang Imphal da lakani haibagi matang sida nung nang mapuklang libasi mahak se mediator oigedoribra peacemaker oibase mahang no oigedoribra haibe matang dani nisang bayai Joram Thanga Mizoram ki former Chief Minister Joram Thanga masang magbhaboda Manipur Nagaland ki any insurgent group ki matang da suma khoise mediator oina ngasa mamang thamkibani mai pak pabugdi yaukidri adubu mokhoise sumaina government central government degi sumaina appointer okpase thorokpani aduna handakta su mahaksi prime minister ga su anirak unakhrabani Laldo Homa masamaksi amadi Amit Shah ga su unakhraba matungda masigi development sa lakpani ojalo shalakpada tentakna masigi ojai kari mo lei thambi
amida sigi wari singrang koi evening ga sani hayeng Manipur gi issue si mediation si miem na lakni harakanda hayeng miyang kai humputhuma kanda you are not welcome hiring kalon you nip in the ani pura mo puchai chai doini negotiation haiba broker priest wa haiba si mi tahandana khangna tumina tawa ma haibadi hujik margi problem ma thor kanda moi margi piski thore na mai makai mo inthopi ba mi mo thupi ba so champur da kana no magi smaina thadogi ma hairu bagi his house also burned down ko mudoi batar gadi situation ji khangna karino manan mediate dawni na hay mi mala matam da swai dagi mai ben khangde ma khangde naham yamna you are not wanted and thora kan da he will not be welcome again aduna marang gi sigi wari sanar pa matam da ahn namna of course sigi wari se television da sanaba yadaba hay du ai analogy impijage marang si ahn namna yam seng na hay pakhang amaga leisabi amaga pakhang sina imam mamana ba amada khoi matam amada chithi bi ba na chanarami aduna murup tu da mana bai ai gi sigi leisabi da chithi ama pibiyo na haibjani ahn mamana basina ihan han ai han hangakige imanaba sidagi sida chithi ama porpa yawra haina yaro haragade chithi si purro yani haragade purani that means he was a very good person who was to first understand the ground reality yamna laiba manba leisabi ama pakhanga mana mamana bamda bai si chithi sina puro haiba mamana basina bai amta ngai kho ai amta hangukige she's also my friend can I bring a letter from him if you do not yes haragadi it's a green signal no haragadi you have to tell the gentleman pura anu haire and look at this very simple equation which looks very simple peace ama broker da matam da yam laiba ama expression haibade ai purake yabra yadabra haiduna ani sunungai ne dre mayamang su pongadre that means brokering peace and running between people who are at war is not an easy task because we are already having a different perspective wakan mayam se adum chamam na dana le matam da ai madu pisama broker tawge natra ka bolun te tawge hai matam da it will be a major disaster when a gentleman comes to Imphal and said he is a person who will broker between the two community which is at a big major difference asum kan badam marang marta hai buduni ta phone na haru na ta bada ground level se hana haina rabra saunariba community man se hana haina rabra hai bado this is what should be felt understood tam aina sum khan badadi sumta tanadana putsana matung da akoi wari sanaba yabra kaina koina unreported mayam su lerim basu yai which I am not aware lerim basu yai ko khanga kana saunarak pa ma aduna hojiki matang saisda aina nan haijabadune hanadi Amit Shah lao yam harame hanadi mudi lao harame hojiki nan group ama sulak api no haibam zum yaure now you are not wanted in this place because you never came during the time of the crisis nahan rupamsa nupimsa khara discussion na haibadune now ye lao yam la ning mane Amit Shah, sorry, Union Home Minister, Prime Minister, si am lao haramani, wakra ngang haramani, haujiti ngang su tanindre, lang su nanindre harapdo. That is the ultimate level of frustration and the mistrust coming out from the people of this state.
Kami nung aja oja, masih gidi matang matam lesalak pana ngan matang asal ayu dah kaya nabi athang ni jabetari oja. Thank you very much for joining us kasi program se mapuphan bagi tamu tahu zada muka setara perform doctor. Thank you very much. Matang asida yang tabiri bapuno magtagi so kaya nabi athang long jage. Ngasi gawin nadi pungfam ngasi gawin nadi matang asida kau kau ki ELITETV ki news edition bagi tanja do long jage. Adu bu hayeng adum pungfam masih magtada adum leng dan lak jage. ELITETV bu yang tado na lebih ngasi gawin nadi Chongtham Amrita na kaya nabi athang long jari. Pinabilis. Thank you very much.
Gear up for the future with Chongtham University. Write your success story with our new age programs that shall be amongst the top 3 most rewarding careers in India and across the globe in the next decade. One of the reasons why Chongtham is a leading private university in India is these world-class partnerships which makes it stand out among the rest.